responding since day one as much as conditions allowed. In coordination with the Syrian Arab Red Crescent, the United Nations and humanitarian partners have dispatched so far 12 aid convoys to date, delivering a broad range of life-saving assistance. Over 300,000 people are currently being reached each month with some form of humanitarian aid. Much more is still needed. While humanitarian aid is critical, restoring full commercial access and reopening trade routes is crucial. We appreciate the Syrian government for its support and facilitation of the mission. We also appreciate the facilitation of humanitarian access, which will allow us to scale up our response. We call on donors to step up their support to allow humanitarian partners to respond in an adequate manner. Unfortunately, the humanitarian response in Syria remains severely underfunded, getting only 13% of the $3.2 billion needed for 2025. The UN remains committed to ensuring the sustained and principled delivery of humanitarian assistance to all communities in need. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Jens, you want to add? No? Okay, so let's open now the floor to questions. I'm looking at the journalist. Is there a hand there? No? In the room? I keep having, yeah, Boris Engelson.
Yes, sorry, very childish question. How do you compare that situation in Syria with the situation in Gaza?
Sir, we answer questions one by one, so if you want to answer our journalist here.
The magnitude of the needs in Gaza is obviously much bigger than it is in Syria. But this is a crisis that is more recent, while the Gaza one is more protracted. But human needs everywhere humanitarian needs everywhere need to be addressed and responded to, because these are people's lives that are at stake.
Thank you very much. Any other question in the room or online? Let me look at the platform. So I don't see any other question to you, sir. Thank you so very much for spotlighting this incredibly difficult situation. Thanks for being with us and briefing the journalists here in Geneva. Yes, please. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So I'll now ask Jeremy Lawrence to come to the podium. We will continue with OHCHR. Jeremy, you have two items on your list. One is Sudan. Maybe you want to start with that?
Sure. Thanks.
Thank you.
Hello. Yes, good morning, everyone. Brutal attacks by the Rapid Support Forces on the besieged city of El Fasher and the adjoining Abu Shouk camp for displaced persons in North Darfur, Sudan, resulted in the killing of at least 89 civilians over a 10-day period up until the 20th of August. We fear the actual number of civilians killed is likely higher. In the latest attacks documented by our office between the 16th and the 20th of August, at least 32 civilians were killed. At least 57 civilians were killed in previous attacks on the 11th of August. Such attacks are unacceptable and must cease immediately. We are particularly horrified that among the most recent spate of civilian killings 16 appear to have been cases of summary executions. Most of the victims were killed in Abu Shuk camp and belonged to the African Zagawi tribe, according to information gathered by our office. In another case, in the Al Fasher area, a victim was asked which tribe he belonged to. He was killed after responding that he was from the African Berti tribe. This pattern of attacks on civilians and willful killings, which are serious violations of international humanitarian law, deepens our concerns about ethnically motivated violence. We have also received disturbing reports from the ground that during attacks on the 16th of August, at least 40 internally displaced men were abducted. Their whereabouts remain unknown. The humanitarian situation in Al Fasher has reached a critical point after more than a year of siege. There is a growing risk of famine in both the city and other areas of North Darfur. In this context, we are appalled by accounts that those trying to deliver much-needed aid have once again come under attack. On the 20th of August, a humanitarian convoy consisting of 16 trucks carrying essential food supplies was hit by aerial strikes in Melit in North Darfur. This incident follows a previous attack on a UN humanitarian convoy in Al Khoma, North Darfur, on the 2nd of June. Humanitarian assistance and workers are protected explicitly under international humanitarian law and must not be targeted. Attacks on humanitarian efforts only worsens the human rights situation for civilians. UN High Commissioner for Human Rights Volker Turk calls on all parties to the conflict to take concrete measures immediately to ensure the protection of all civilians, including safe passage for those wishing to leave conflict-affected areas and to facilitate unimpeded humanitarian assistance for those in need. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I hope that from home you don't see the problems we have with the screens, but sorry for that. So I'll open now the floor to questions. Sudan is so important, and we really need to keep it in the light. So any question on this particular situation in the room? I don't see any hands up. Let me see. Let me go. Yeah, Boris, please.
Sorry, I only can again ask a very childish question. Don't misunderstand